The new year's here. It's the perfect time to refresh those household essentials and score some cashback rewards with Colgate-Palmolive. From toothpaste to dish soap, chances are you've got Colgate-Palmolive products on your shopping list and in your house right now. We're talking brands like Colgate, Soft Soap, Palmolive, Irish Spring, Fabuloso, and Tom's of Maine. And right now, you can get up to a $10 digital Visa prepaid card when you buy up to $30 of Colgate-Palmolive products. Here's how it works. Spend $20 on their products, get $5. Spend $30, get a $10 reward. All you do is shop your favorite brands, snap a pic of your receipt, and upload it to cprewards.com. It's so easy. That's cprewards.com. So grab what you need, or maybe try something new, and get rewarded just for doing your usual shopping. And start your year fresh by earning cashback rewards with Colgate-Palmolive. Rewards available while supplies last. Limits apply. U.S. only. 1/1/25 through 3/31/25. For full terms and conditions, visit cprewards.com.
Well, ahoy there, Star Wars adventurers, and welcome to our fourth episode. I know it's the seventh episode of the show, but it's our fourth episode of Beyond the Barrier, where we explore the mysteries of Skeleton Crew. I'm one of your hosts, Pete Fletzer, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and Star Wars first mate, Mr. Nick Mielke. Every couple of weeks, we're going to chart a course through the twists, turns, and treasures of the Disney Plus Star Wars series. And tonight, we're going to be joined by our friend, Darth Choco. I will bring him in now. How are you doing, Choco?
I'm doing great. Can you guys hear me okay? Do I sound good?
Yes. You sound a little choppy, but we got you. We can see you.
Okay. I apologize. My internet's down. I'm just phoning it right now. So
are you close to LA? Are you in that area?
Actually, so my dad, Element 7, he's the one that's actually close to the fires and stuff. I'm in San Diego, so I'm safe, but yeah, definitely shout out and prayers for everyone who's over there.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right, Nick. Well, let's continue, and we'll Choco, just having you here is good enough. I don't care if it's choppy. We love having you with us for tonight's conversation. So go for it, Nick.
Right. I hold on. I lost my page here. This is how professional we are. Yes. So we're going to jump in. We are going to have we're breaking down episode 7 titled "We Are Going to Be in So Much Trouble." It's a fantastic show lined up, and there's a bunch of stuff on deck.
Right. And first of all, we are going to be joined by Choco and Nick. First of all, then we're going to have the Scuttlebutt, and then we're going to kick things over to which is basically we kick off with our sort of one-word reactions to the episode, and then we set the stage for what's to come.
That's right. After we do that, we're going to hit plotting the course. We're going to map out the major story beats. We're going to kind of go through the story, talk about what happened, the things that stood out the most to us. And then from there, Pete, where do we go?
Well, then we go into some buried treasure where we uncover some different Easter eggs and references and some hidden details that even the sharpest fans like Darth Choco here might have missed, but I'm pretty sure he'll have gotten most of the ones that we got.
That's right. And then finally, we're going to wrap it up with Buckos and Codgers, some great pirate terms. We want to pass the mic to you guys. We're going to do call-ins. We're bringing back calls on ATG Live every week. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts, your theories, your thoughts on our thoughts and theories. So it's your time to shine. You can click that link. You'll join us live on screen for a minute. Or if you're not comfortable doing that, like Pete said, we've got the voicemail at the top of the screen. Give us a call. Let us know in the chat that you left a message, and we can pull that up and hear your thoughts as well.
Absolutely. So if you're catching this on the podcast feed, well, you're missing out on the live action. Join us live every Thursday night for ATG Live. Not only can you be part of the fun real time, but as Nick just said, you can call in and be part of the fun.
Absolutely. And there is one warning we have to give. I've done this every time we've done Beyond the Barrier.
Yes.
Let me clear my throat. Let me get ready.
Do it.
Be warned, there be spoilers here. It's the best pirate I can give you.
I like
We are digging into the plot. We are digging into the details, speculation. If you haven't watched episode 7 yet, take a break, go watch it, come back. You can find us on the replay. We love that you're here, but we don't want to spoil anything if you're ready to, enjoy it for the first time yourself.
Absolutely. So grab your maps and raise your solar sails, and let's set course for adventure. So, Choco, we do this thing before we even get into the plot of the episode, before we get into some of the things that struck us. We give a little sort of one-word sort of reaction to the episode. If you want to go first, we can throw it to you, Choco. What was your one-word sort of thing? It can be a hyphenated word. It can be a hashtag. I got away with hashtag a couple of weeks ago. I was kind of cheating, but I did it that way. But what's your sort of your one-word kind of reaction to the show?
One word reaction is it's one word, but I have to say it twice. It's Jod. I
love that. That is I think so many people were feeling that way, and after we get through the plot of the episode, I definitely want to dig into that concept. Like it's so funny to watch social media respond to Jod Na Nawood in this particular episode, and I can definitely get behind that one. Nick, what's your one-word response?
Yeah, I went back and forth on this a little bit, and this is always like, for all the things that we've done on the show over the years, for some reason, the one-word response is the thing that catches me out the most. And I'm like, I have too many words to just use one word. I'm going to say, I think my one word was pensive. Like they left me hanging right there on the edge, obviously the way the episode ends, and they've done that several times, several of them ended with like the saber coming on, the whatever, but like I'm thinking, and I'm in my head on this episode, especially a bunch, because we kind of had a little bit of a lead of, are we going to hear more about his backstory? Like it's a lot of thinking involved in this one, which then puts me headlong into thinking about the next one.
Yeah. I think pensive is a great word. I think it's sort of along the lines of what I'm thinking. I couldn't think of the right word because it's the only word I can think of doesn't come across right, and that word is disappointed. And it's not in the episode. Yeah. It's not in the show. It's not in where it is. It's just disappointed that it's going to end. I feel like we're just hitting this great peak. It's like when you're sitting in a movie and suddenly those credits come up and you're like, oh man, that was great. I need more. So
it was another moment where, and we've lamented this certainly a bunch of times with a lot of the Disney Plus shows, but it was that moment where I lamented the fact that like we've gotten into this 8-episode TV show thing.
Yeah.
Like what happened to 22 episode shows? What happened to 12 and 14 episode shows? Chaco, I see you, agreeing with that. Chime in.
This is, I mean, it's my number one gripe with the way these streaming services have been providing media. It's that they hit the zone, and what you want to do is maximize your time in the zone. You have the story arc, and then this high end. Give me 3 episodes in that zone. You hit
the sweet spot.
The problem is there's no fat. Right. These scripts are so lean and mean that they give us only what we need for only as long as we need it, and we need that extra. We need that fat. Yep.
I think that's why animation.
The fat is where the flavor is.
Exactly. Hey, as somebody who loves to barbecue and grill and smoke stuff, I know that's where the good stuff is. But I think that's why animation has been more successful, is because it doesn't cost as much. So you can spend 3-episode arc, like Clone Wars mastered that, right? Going from you a story literally ended and then another one came, and you knew you were going to be spending the next 3 to 4 weeks in whatever that was. This, you're just getting going and it kind of hits. So, but speaking of getting going and it hits and what that story is, let's plot the course and talk about what this episode gave us.
This is Ashley Iaconetti from the Ben and Ashley I Almost Famous podcast. Did you know that Future Health can help make weight loss resolutions come true? Future Health makes access to qualified doctors that know GLP-1s easier than ever, and for less than $3 a day. Get started with a quick 3-minute survey at tryfh.com. 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 Future Health is not a healthcare services provider. Meds are prescribed at provider's discretion. Results may vary. Sponsored by Future Health.
The new year's here. It's the perfect time to refresh those household essentials and score some cashback rewards with Colgate-Palmolive. From toothpaste to dish soap, chances are you've got Colgate-Palmolive products on your shopping list and in your house right now. We're talking brands like Colgate, Soft Soap, Palmolive, Irish Spring, Fabuloso, and Tom's of Maine. And right now, you can get up to a $10 digital Visa prepaid card when you buy up to $30 of Colgate-Palmolive products. Here's how it works. Spend $20 on their products, get $5. Spend $30, get a $10 reward. All you do is shop your favorite brands, snap a pic of your receipt, and upload it to cprewards.com. It's so easy. That's cprewards.com. So grab what you need, or maybe try something new, and get rewarded just for doing your usual shopping. And start your year fresh by earning cashback rewards with Colgate-Palmolive. Rewards available while supplies last. Limits apply. U.S. only. 1/1/25 through 3/31/25. For full terms and conditions, visit cprewards.com.
All right. Well, we are going to jump in with plotting the course. We're going to do a quick recap of this episode, which, as we said, is entitled "We're Going to Be in So Much Trouble." This was directed by Lee Isaac Chung. We had a runtime of 37 minutes, and the official Disney Plus description reads, "Our heroes have never felt further from home," which obviously there's some great irony in that. So we open this episode at night beneath the green glow of the barrier. KB's parents, Gary and Mary, I love that that's their names. There's no way around that. Farah, who is Fern's mom, Wendell, and Numa, they risk everything. They're sending a message to their kids. They've got stolen barrier codes. We saw that in the last episode, the transmitter. The group faces off against relentless security droids. The parent sacrifices themselves to pass the device forward. It was like, felt like a football game, like a high school football, you know, like we'relateraling that ball. We're trying to keep it going. We're trying to get to the end zone.
It was literally the Fumblerooski scene from Little Giants.
Correct. That's exactly what it is. The Fumblerooski scene from Little Giants, which maybe that was a callback to the, you know, a 90s movie that we didn't know we needed. And then Farah, in a nail-biting moment, managed to launch the communication buoy into the sky, and though captured, their message is on its way. So, you know, in this, we've got those vintage throwback vibes. You know, certainly that's a great one. It did to me feel very, you know, sports movie like. Football is what I went to. Pete, I know you said this. Those flashlights in the forest. That's the most ET thing that we've seen, you know, other than at the beginning when they're being chased through the forest.
Yep.
Choco, in this opening scene, what grabbed you in that quick moment?
Definitely the ET vibes, but like I said, during our live reaction, I said, yeah, this is the Fumblerooski. The show's doing nostalgia right, where it's not too on the nose. If you know, you know. If you don't know, it doesn't feel unnatural. But this opening scene and just showing, I don't know why, there's a lot of media where parents don't really care about their kids, and so it was just heartwarming to have to have this.
But no, it was, I agree. And I think it was the ET vibes for me. And then, you know, somebody pointed out that the little buoy almost looked like ET's ship at the end of it as well. So, but the story continued on the Onyx Cinder, where the kids, Fern, Neil, and Wim, and KB, believe that they're finally going home. This was such a great moment to see the kids kind of relaxing. But as they approach Atten, the pirate frigate, but led by Brutus, intercepts their ship. Jod Na Nawood, a cunning and ambitious pirate, seizes the opportunity to overthrow Brutus and take control of the frigate and the kids' ship. Jod's charisma and ruthlessness shine as he manipulates his crew, executes Brutus, which was beautiful, and takes the kids hostage. His true goal was to exploit the Onyx Cinder's ability to bypass the barrier and plunder at Atten's legendary mint. Am I the only one that was shocked that the Wolfman went out like a bitch? I mean, that was quick and easy and brutal. Was I the only one who was surprised by that?
Honestly, it kind of worked for me. Like, you know, he was built up.
Oh, it worked.
Then,
but yeah.
Go ahead, Choco.
It was surprising, you know, because I honestly wanted a duel between, like, in my mind, I saw the lightsaber reveal as a duel where he uses it to take down Brutus, and like that's what I wanted in my head. But what we got is more pirate-like. It's more ruthless and it's more full. And I think it actually better suits the heel turn for the character of Jod, of letting us know, because I think he's done a fantastic job of showing us as like a reluctant drunk uncle who's like taking the kids to the park or something. to like he might try to kill these kids, like it shows the ruthlessness that either is a heel turn or was always there. We don't know which Jod is the real Jod. And I don't know if Jod knows which Jod is the real Jod.
Yep.
Great point. And it also had, this show seems to have just been such a great, amalgamation of 80s things, 90s things, other pop culture things. It has a little bit of like modern Pirates of the Caribbean movies of like, who's in charge? No, you're in charge. No, I'm in charge. Like,
right.
We have a mutiny and then it changes. And same thing. Like he stands there, he shoots him and he's like, really? Is this what you want to do? And they're like, you know what? Turns out, no, we don't. And it's swapping around.
Yep.
I'm almost waiting for someone to go parlay.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. Yep. Parlay. Yeah, the parlay gig back and back, or the gimmick back and forth. So they're aboard the Onyx Cinder. Jod and his crew intercept the parents' holographic message. We get that buoy. It gets up. The heartfelt recording reassures the children of their parents' love, warns them about the dangers of the barrier, and crucially, it provides a clue. The Republic emissary is the key to navigating safely through the barrier. Inspired by their courage, the parents' courage, the kids fight back. SM-33, their loyal droid ally, takes out several pirates, allowing the children to escape on board the Cinder. In a thrilling chase through the barrier, the ship narrowly avoids destruction by satellites. They emerge on the other side, and finally, AT-AT is back. It's revealed that beautiful world inside this kind of hollow, gas giant barrier, that whole kind of thing. They think they're home and then they're not.
Yeah. I saw there was some typical sort of Twitter conversation. Somebody was like, well, how does the sun get through this? No, it's Star Wars. Like bricks and screws, fires in space, noise in space. It's Star Wars. Just enjoy that. Take that in. I thought it was very well done. But their relief is short-lived because Jod, who is stowed away aboard the Cinder, reveals a blue lightsaber and swiftly eliminates SM-33. He forces the children to accompany him to AT-AT's surface, posing as a Republic emissary. Jod's deception fools the planet's droids, granting him access to the Mint, a vault of unimaginable wealth. And meanwhile, the parents have been detained for violating AT-AT's security protocols, and they watch as the Onyx Cinder lands. I love the way it opened up, and it's my sense that this hasn't happened for 100 years because nobody who was picnicking on that green lawn had any idea that they were about to open up to a landing platform.
They're like, oh shit, the ground opens up?
Wait, what? And an emotional reunion the children and their parents do embrace, only for a moment, because Jod emerges and ignites his lightsaber after he has seen the treasure of AT-AT, and it is in his grasp. And with their homeworld and their loved ones at risk, the stage is now set for this final high stakes episode. Yes, we skimmed through the top details. We figured you've probably watched it. We did see you mentioned it, Choco, this heel turn from Jod. What's your thoughts? Where is he? It's again funny to watch Twitter and social media just turn on him like bad milk. They hate him now. He cannot be redeemed. Is Jod a bad guy, or what's going on with him? What's your? And I love. By the way, before we get too deep into this, if you're not following Darth Choco on TikTok, and I think you're also on Instagram and on Twitter, you give these, I love your little 60-second conversations and perspectives. Yes. So I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on, and tell us where everybody can find that before we forget to do that at the end. So tell us now where they can follow you on social media before we forget.
Yeah, so TikTok is going to be going away. So
yeah, right.
which my primary place. So most of new content is going to end up being here on YouTube. I think that's going to be my go-to. Cool. But so Darth Choco on YouTube, also Darth Choco IG on Instagram. I'm also on Blue Sky, and I largely avoiding Twitter because it's wild out there. Yep. But
right,
understood.
I'm around. Just follow me wherever. But
excellent.
With Jod, I think it's that's one of my complaints of like we need more episodes, because I don't see how they can give us what we need and wrap everything up in a bow in a single episode. With what they've given us, you know, I mean, I guess from one standpoint, we know roughly what the kids know, and that makes us kind of anxious because he really does seem like a massive threat to him. On the other hand, the backstory I've written in my head was that he's a youngling that left the Order. Not, and I actually don't want him to be an Order 66 survivor. I want him to have just left on his own accord prior to them, because you didn't have to become a Jedi. You could leave anytime you wanted. And so I would like to have, because I feel like all the characters have had their kind of episode, and I think him and Wim, it would be really interesting narratively if they had this crossing where, you know, Wim is craving this adventure and he wants to be a Jedi because he wants to help people. If you have someone who was raised to be a Jedi and said, I can't live up to this, I'm going to go do my own thing, you could have an interesting story of him looking through Wim's eyes and seeing the love of the thing that he left, that he didn't respect, and maybe using that to make a better choice. Either way, I foresee him trying to escape, and I see Neil pulling a fat turret out of the schoolyard and shooting him down before he makes it. That's what I see happening.
So many Chekhov's guns, and every single one has been paid off. And you're absolutely right. That is one that I've forgotten about, but you're right. It's at the top of the school. There's it couldn't have been
Neil knows where it is and how to use it.
Yep. There's a definite reason why Hana showed him where it was, right? So that I love that. Even if maybe it's against the pirate ship or something, but I want Neil on the gun. That would be great. But you kind of hit toward my theory, which I'll share in a minute, as to how it ends. But I think I think I might modify it based a little bit on what you just said, but I like where you're going with that. Nick, what do you think? Is Jod, is he the villain, or is he the lovable pirate, or what's the story with him?
I think, and I'm sure this is the eternal optimist in me, this is the dad who's watched this guy, you know, be mean to some little kids, you know, in this episode, and, you know, he makes Wim cry. He kind of, you know, he laid it down. He was like, this is the flaw with each of you. This is your deal. This is the thing. I want it, you know, I kind of want him to be Willy Wonka. And I think he used that term, you know, last week or at some point. You know, I want it ultimately to be, you know, he's going to come through in the end. He's going to have that moment. Or one of the kids, despite the way he's done, you know, so far, is going to do something nice for him at the beginning of this next episode. And it's going to pull on those heartstrings, and he's going to have a change. So I don't think he's the bad guy. That then begs the question, who is the bad guy? Because Star Wars has bad guys. Is it the supervisor, who we don't know, the voice behind the curtain? But I don't know. I mean, it would be awesome, honestly, if he is just straight up the bad guy, because we don't always do that. And that gives you a Empire kind of ending, a Last Jedi kind of ending, to go, hey, it's not a happy ending. It's, this guy kind of was a dick, and that's the way it goes.
You know, to me, it almost feels like the villain has been just what they've run into along the way, because it's my sense. I believe the Willy Wonka thing. So I'll give a little bit of my, screw it. Well, I'll put it all out there. I'll put it out there. I don't care. I want to hear from you. And if you're
coming in,
and if you're watching, I want to hear from you. I want you to dial in. We have our good friend Eric, who's already dialed in. I want you to dial in and tell us what you think, or leave us a voicemail. There's, again, another Chekhov's gun that was left was at the beginning of the episode. Wim says, I still have to take my assessment. So I believe that this is Wim's assessment. And I feel like somehow Jod or Snowball, I'll get to that. This is his trial. And I feel like at the end of this episode, at the end of this series, somehow Wim and SM-33 and Snowball will go off in the Onyx Cinder and protect at Atten, which is where he could show up in the Filoni verse, with protecting At-Atin from Thrawn. There could be a connection there. But I would love this whole thing to have been his test. Once he found the ship, once he turned it on, and Snowball and SM-33 realized that this kid has figured out this trick. He's inherited Wonka's factory, and it's his job now to see if he can survive and figure out the mystery and get there. And it's sort of that concept of maybe it's the friends we made along the way, and so the role that Fern and Neil and KB play maybe expanded in that. So
just real quick, one thing that just makes me think of is at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, on stage, they announced we finished shooting Skeleton Crew. And that was the first time I had ever heard of it. And they had finished. So that's why when you look at the kids now, they're all older and stuff. So I would love to see something like what you described, but I want all the kids. Right. Once At-Atin gets discovered, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Right. I would love to see, because especially in the last episodes, we got to see the kids working together. We got to see them with an engineer, a captain, a pilot, and a gunner. And I want to see them realize that, because this whole show was based off of the, and that checkout's got him saying, I still have to take my assessment.
Yep.
He doesn't want to grow up. That's been his story throughout this entire thing. And
correct. What
are pirates but big kids? You know what I mean? Which is why there's a similarity between pirate code and just saying unclaimsies, because they're so stupid and childish. And so, but what's happening on At-Atin, I think, is also the enemy, right? It's pure conformity. And I don't think there's anyone at the top. This is something that was scripted a long time ago. And they're just doing this thing just to do this thing. So I would love to see, because he wants to help people. They have a ship, they have a mini crew. I want to see, a little time jump to where they're, kind of teenagers, and they're using the wealth of this planet to help people around the galaxy. That's what I want.
Well, and I think that's one of the big challenges with this show right now. And again, it's so important that they land this plane. This show has to end at 8 episodes. And if they do more, it can pick up from there, but we can't leave things dangling, because to your point, now the Lothcat is out of the bag. There's a planet with 1,139 vaults full of credits, so much wealth that this would ruin the galactic economy if this got out there. And it's a really interesting, which is why I think we all thought, well, this is going to have some sort of connection to the First Order and building, the Final Order, and and maybe that's where it goes, and maybe that's how it happens. But how do they leave this with a positive feeling, right? And how do they do? Because I'm with you, Choco. Wim is truly the Luke Skywalker of this series, right? Doesn't love his life, wants adventure, wants it, but now that he's seen it, it's the classic hero's journey. Now that he comes home, he needs to bring that home with him, and what is he going to do with it, and how is he going to elevate that? Nick, we didn't get your thoughts. How does this series end?
I honestly have no idea. I think it has to end on, at this point, and basically with the rumors that we heard, in that news story, it ends on some version of the kids are in a good place. I don't think we end with, an Empire Strikes Back ending for the kids themselves.
Right.
But it ends in a way that, yes, it could be season 2, or it can jump over to the Filoni movie with some version of something. The thing that stuck with me, based on what the two of y'all just said, excuse me, is these kids out doing good in the galaxy. I said for a bunch of years that the Bad Batch was supposed to be Star Wars A-Team. Maybe Skeleton Crew is teenage Star Wars A-Team, and they go out into the galaxy and, heroes for hire, flying around in the Onyx Cinder. Throw a red stripe on there like the A-Team band. Like, let's make that happen. I'm all about that. Like, let these kids go out. And honestly, it also feels a little bit like Young Jedi Adventures. You've got kids in a spaceship flying around doing some things. Like, there feels like some synergy there that I hadn't considered before. But empower these kids to go out and do some things and help, because they've left the safety of the planet that they grew up in this bubble like everybody else did. They've seen what's outside of it. It's the joke we made I think after the first episode, what's outside of Pleasantville? They've gone outside of Pleasantville. They're back now.
Yes.
And now they get to go out and go, oh, we know some shit. We've had some experiences. Let's, do what we can do. So I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm really excited to find out.
And I think
give him that lightsaber.
Yes.
He needs to redeem himself.
This is Ashley Iconetti from the Ben and Ashley I Almost Famous podcast. What if I told you that Future Health can help you make weight loss resolutions come true? Long-lasting weight loss results, all for less than $3 a day. Find out if weight loss meds are right for you in just 3 minutes at tryfh.com. Get started with a quick 3-minute survey at tryfh.com.
Tryfh.com.
Future Health is not a healthcare services provider. Meds are prescribed at provider's discretion. Results may vary. Sponsored by Future Health.
The new year's here. It's the perfect time to refresh those household essentials and score some cashback rewards with Colgate-Palmolive. From toothpaste to dish soap, chances are you've got Colgate-Palmolive products on your shopping list and in your house right now. We're talking brands like Colgate, Soft Soap, Palmolive, Irish Spring, Fabuloso, and Tom's of Maine. And right now, you can get up to a $10 digital Visa prepaid card when you buy up to $30 of Colgate-Palmolive products. Here's how it works. Spend $20 on their products, get $5. Spend $30, get a $10 reward. All you do is shop your favorite brands, snap a pic of your receipt, and upload it to cprewards.com. It's so easy. That's cprewards.com. So grab what you need, or maybe try something new, and get rewarded just for doing your usual shopping. And start your year fresh by earning cashback rewards with Colgate-Palmolive. Rewards available while supplies last. Limits apply. U.S. only. 1/1/25 through 3/31/25. For full terms and conditions, visit cprewards.com.
Is Jod, is he force sensitive? Is he a former Jedi, or is he using tricks like Nanjani did from Camille did in Kenobi? What are your thoughts, Choco?
I think he's definitely force sensitive. The reason I said I believe him to be a Padawan who's left the order is because of the limits of what he's done. He hasn't done any extensive training. He kind of does what is still natural to him. A scene that comes to mind is when Smee starts going off, limb from limb, and he dives over to flip the switch. And then the question is, why didn't he just do that with the Force? Right. I don't think he can. Yeah, so it's easier to force push something over than it is to do small and very precise manipulations. I don't think he ever got to that level. Additionally, I don't think he wants people to know he's force sensitive because there's a bounty on your ass, and you gotta. Pirates aren't known for being super charitable.
Yeah. I mean, he did use the Force to get the handcuffs off.
The handcuffs off. Yeah.
The best description, I think it was New Rockstar, said it was very similar to in Justice League. I think it was where, or maybe it was Batman v Superman, where Superman's wearing the handcuffs the whole time. And they didn't do anything. I mean, he knew he could just take them off. And same thing with Jod. He just, when he needed them off, he did it. So I like that. And I think that's part of the really interesting intrigue about Jod is he clearly, I don't think it's tricks. I think he does have the Force. I'm with you on that.
I think he does too.
And that's a very interesting thing. Why isn't he using it? I mean, he's a pirate. A pirate with the Force. I mean, Hondo Ohnaka wanted Ezra to be a pirate with the Force forever. So I think it is really interesting.
His greatest strength has been not letting anyone know who he is. That's why he has a dozen names and aliases, and he's known as different things. And the more you can keep that under wraps, I think if he was fully out there as a force sensitive pirate, you can't really have aliases because you're like, no, you're the Force guy. I've heard of you.
We know you. Yep, for sure. Well, let's quickly go through some of the Easter eggs, and then we're going to bring in some calls, and we'll keep this conversation going.
All right, I have. before we get to it, this is we'll call it my Easter egg maybe.
Okay.
Choco talked about, I think you said, Wim with the lightsaber. Here's what I need. I need Neil with the lightsaber. That's the thing I want before this. You talked about the turret. I want Neil with the lightsaber. I want there to be a moment where he stands up and goes, no. And we get that little blue badass just rocking it, ready to go. That's the one I want. So,
I mean, you saw what his dad looks like, and if you had a Jedi that looks like that, holy crap, that'd be amazing. I'm into it.
Yep. You're sitting down. Yeah.
But again, so let's call that a Chekhov's gun. He was he fought with his quote unquote lightsaber with Wim in the very first episode, right? While they were waiting for the bus. So
let's do it. Yep.
They've made those.
I want Neil with the light. Neil Nation on social media will lose their mind.
Oh God, they'll be unbearable. They will be,
and that's fine. I will join. I will lead the parade. Mark it down right now. Send me a picture of Neil with a lightsaber that I can hang on my wall, and I'll do it.
I'm gonna make one for you out of my
there
Photoshop skills. Okay, so a handful of things, and Choco and Nick, let me know if I missed anything. I mean, the deeper we get into the show, the fewer and fewer Easter eggs there are, but that's the way. I think that's actually good. I mean, there's a ton of Easter eggs. There's probably a million things that we missed in the background, but a couple things I noticed. Jod's stance when he ignites the lightsaber in front of the parents, or in front of the kids rather, very Anakin. In the child murder scene from Revenge of the Sith. The pirate snub fighters were the ones that we saw in Mandalorian season 3. It was so funny. I was watching it with my son.
They look so cool.
Oh, they are. They're the coolest looking fighters. Yep. And my son said while we were watching it, my 12-year-old, he said, "Didn't we build one of those out of Lego?" I was like, "You're right. Those are the ships. That's the one right there."
And that was the one that when we watched Mando season 3, I don't think we were doing a recap show or anything, but I texted you when that scene was over, when Vane got away.
Yep.
I said to him, we're going to see him again. And I knew that was coming back. That was one of the few times I've called it and got it right.
you have to live in those moments, man. They don't happen often. We have to
own the ones I get.
Have to own them. Yep. Neil's mom almost said, "I have a bad feeling about this." She said, "I have a bad feeling," and then she was zapped. My favorite one, because, and it's the last one I have, is that Stephen Fry is the voice of the supervisor. And for me, I know he's done a million things, but for me, Stephen Fry is the voice of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which ties into my belief that Snowball is the key to everything. Snowball is connected somehow to either the supervisor or TAC or both. I put up a little social media clip this morning about, it was very deliberate that Jod didn't step on him or throw him when they made it very clear, another Chekhov's gun, that he just sort of swept him off to the side with his foot. That's CGI resources. You don't do that unless there's a reason you need to know that this little rat is still alive. So I don't know what the connection is, but I believe he's the key to everything. I just don't know what that is.
So that scene is the one thing that makes me think that Jod is redeemable.
Yes.
Because how humans treat animals and droids 100%. Determines whether or not they're good or bad.
Yep. I agree with that. Yep.
Without a doubt.
Right.
Just a quick side note. The amount of volts that there was 1139, which is one more than THX 138, which is a similar plot to what's happening on that Atten. So wanted to add that Easter egg.
So here's what I decided with the 1139. And this is going to be the most extreme reach, and I hope nobody else has made this connection. I hope we can put this on social media. It's 1138 plus one more. And if you've ever seen Spinal Tap, that amp goes to 11. It's not 10. It goes to 11 because it's one more. So this vault, 1139, this is the Star Wars Spinal Tap moment. I'm calling it right now.
I love that. Well, why don't you just make 10 louder? Well, this goes to 11.
Nope. Goes to 11.
Awesome. I don't know that it's actually an Easter egg or not, but when I first saw the inside of the vault, I was like, oh, you could hide the Ark of the Covenant in there. It
Very
felt,
Ark of the Covenant coded.
felt like Indiana Jones involved hiding stuff, you know.
I do have to say that was the only scene in this entire series so far that felt to me like the volume. I felt like it was on Escape from Gringotts Vault from down in Orlando. I don't know if you had a chance to ride that in Orlando Universal Studios. I felt like I was in a ride more than in
I
the
thought
show.
it felt like Polar Express when they started, the credits started spilling on top of him. There's that moment I was like, is this Polar Express? Like it felt a little too, that's like you said, is the first time the show there felt like I felt the CGI.
Yep.
The new year's here. It's the perfect time to refresh those household essentials and score some cashback rewards with Colgate-Palmolive. From toothpaste to dish soap, chances are you've got Colgate-Palmolive products on your shopping list and in your house right now. We're talking brands like Colgate, Soft Soap, Palmolive, Irish Spring, Fabuloso, and Tom's of Maine. And right now, you can get up to a $10 digital Visa prepaid card when you buy up to $30 of Colgate-Palmolive products. Here's how it works. Spend $20 on their products, get $5. Spend $30, get a $10 reward. All you do is shop your favorite brands, snap a pic of your receipt, and upload it to cprewards.com. It's so easy. That's cprewards.com. So grab what you need, or maybe try something new, and get rewarded just for doing your usual shopping. And start your year fresh by earning cashback rewards with Colgate-Palmolive. Rewards available while supplies last. Limits apply. U.S. only. 1/1/25 through 3/31/25. For full terms and conditions, visit cprewards.com.
Well, cool. Well, we do have at least one caller on the line, and let's bring him in. All right. Well, we have, of course, a little bumper when we want to bring in a caller. And this is a caller that we've had before. He's back to bringing his streak to life. Here he is.
So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first?
There he is.
Eric.
Honest to Claude. Eric, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing right. See, we have Pete Rock, we have Nick Ross, and we have Aesop Chalky.
I like
Yep.
What's
All the
going on,
names.
dude?
Love it.
I'm doing all right. I really enjoy this episode. You know, what was it? Jod, his reaction to seeing the data is, you know, he's going from this lowly old poor pirate to Mansa Musa in like a couple seconds is one of my favorite parts of this show, period, and it's favorite acting for the show. But I have something more important to talk about. I have a conspiracy.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay. So, you know Shakti?
Yes.
The only real Shakti in Legends is the one that shows up in Force Unleashed. The other two that we see die are clones.
Really? Where's Choco? I'm going to throw that to you. You're a lore. You're more of a lore guy.
I was like, you're the Lord King.
I kind of back out on that
anything
one.
to add to this.
I mean, that was the in continuity death for her, so I'm into it.
Well, we see 3 deaths, and obviously those deleted scenes are a bit wishy-washy of continuity, obviously.
Right.
But I feel like you can still make it work by establishing that Shakti had a romantic relationship with Sifo Dyas.
What?
And like what Jango Fett wanted as like him like helping out the Kaminoans was an unaltered clone. What he wanted was the love of his life reanimated because she just died because she just keeps dying.
I want you to write more fan fiction.
And you probably like wondering, like, why am I saying this? I'm just like, think about how different her depiction is in The Force Unleashed. She's a different girl. Like, there's no way she would dress up like that in the other versions we see of her. Like, she's way more modest and reserved.
Okay.
Like a Kaminoan.
But is there a connection between?
It's hot on Felucia. It's hot on Felucia.
Is there?
No,
I mean,
I still think of her as like, you know, she would be dressed up like a Catholic nun in South America. She just would bear through it. She would use her force abilities to help keep herself cool. But no, this version of Shakti, she's dressed up like a Final Fantasy character.
Okay, have I missed a Shakti Sifo Dyas connection somewhere? Is that canon anywhere?
No.
No,
Right.
he just appears 10 years beforehand.
No, I love making the leap. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like based in something that I wasn't aware of.
Pete's trying to protect his fan card. Should he be turning that in right now?
That's right. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have my fan card revoked. But all right, so real quick.
I mean, obviously, you have your comic reader card revoked.
Yeah. God knows that.
I don't know that he was ever assigned one.
Yeah, no, never had it. Yeah, can
Back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Back when the hair was, nice and dark.
Well, we do have another call coming. My hair was never dark. It was a beautiful blonde. All right. On that note, Eric, we are going to let you go. We will see you next week, I hope. And I want to hear what you think about the end of Skeleton Crew when we get there. So, dude, take it easy.
Yep.
Peace. He's still there. Oh, there he goes. Okay. Love when Eric calls. I usually don't know what's going to happen.
No idea what to expect.
I'm always glad he's there. But hey, we do have another caller. Here we go.
Patch him through.
Hi, I'm holding for General Hux.
This is Hux.
Okay, I'll hold.
Hello?
Hello? Yep, I'm still here.
Look who it is, Mr. Chris Ryan.
There it is.
There he is.
Mr. Star Wars figures himself.
Hey, Chris, I needed
Look
to
at that
ask
handsome
you,
man.
at Proaxium Outpost, do you have Black Series action figures?
I have a couple.
Okay. All right.
Not like in a huge amount. It's not what I base the store at.
Your voice went up at the end there, like there was a question.
So what are we doing? Are we talking Skeleton Crew? Are we talking?
We were, yeah.
What is
We are talking
I'd like to pull it
Skeleton
back
Crew.
to Skeleton Crew if we can.
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
We're talking about Sifo Dyas' harem of clones.
Who knew? Who knew?
Man,
I had no idea. No idea.
I love that episode in Skeleton Crew when they talked about that.
Sifo Dyas is
Sifo Dyas
of Shaktis.
That's in Vault 1140.
Yeah. They'll dip into more of that in season 4. It's coming. It's coming.
So what are your thoughts? Where are you going with this?
As far as the finale goes, like how it's going to end up, or the series as a whole?
Any of it.
The floor is yours, Mr. Rice.
The floor is yours.
For the series as a whole, as an 80s kid, love it. Absolutely love it. I love the. There are people who couldn't get attached to these kids. It took them like 5-6 episodes. I'm like, I was there from the beginning.
Yeah.
I felt for these kids. Especially, I feel like I got a little bit of both Wim and Neil in me a bit. And even Fern and KB to an extent, all of them. But the way that those kids were at the bus stop playing lightsabers, done that.
Yeah.
I just did that last month. I'll be 50 in a couple of weeks. It's like everything about this show, it is literally a sleeper hit. I did after Acolyte, I kind of was like, I'll watch Skeleton Crew when it comes out. Because I was just a little upset with Lucasfilm and the way they handle things. And Skeleton Crew has been like this. Like if you're a comic reader, it was a sleeper hit like the way Marvel Zombies was. It came out and it just blew everything away. And it is a special series, and I hope this continues with them as like teens or whatever going forward.
Let me ask you a question, because I think there was something that was interesting that came up when I was on Screen Crush.
About Shakti.
It's Shakti. Would she hook up with Wendell No. A point that was brought up. I think she might.
I can totally see it.
That's season 2. When I was on Screen Crush yesterday, they brought up if this show had come out before Acolyte, if it would have done better, or I mean, they didn't have an answer. It was just a comment, which I thought was interesting. Or would Acolyte have been received differently? Because this is, as I put it, this is the most Star Wars show to ever Star Wars, I think, other than maybe Mandalorian. Do you think it might have been received a little bit differently?
I don't think it would have mattered. Whatever's good is what people like, they like, and what they don't like, they don't like.
Right.
So
fair.
Yeah. It doesn't. Yeah, I don't think it would have mattered like when it came out as far as that.
I kind of have a small disagreement with that. I feel like there was a kind of a content drought with nothing but the Acolyte on the horizon for months. And so I think if that content drought was leading to Skeleton Crew, the hate train wouldn't have been months long. And I think we could have gotten at least, I don't know, a more intelligent reception at first. I don't know.
So instead of like 100% hate, it'd be like 94% hate, because these guys still would have found a way to hate on this show. Come on, just come on.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go there, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys like. I put in the chat. I put a prediction in there that I have for the finale.
Oh, let's hear it. Yeah.
And I hate to be like, oh, this guy's going to show up and that guy's going to show up, but it would make sense because there's no coming back for Jod. As far as I'm concerned, there's no coming back for that dude.
You don't think so? Interesting.
No coming back.
Twitter hates him, so.
So that the Republic is going to send Mando to come in and take care of these pirates. Like, if they're going to bring these kids or this cast and this show into the Mandoverse and maybe into this movie,
I like that.
Time, I think, to do that is they have him show up at the end, and either Mando's there to fight him, and then like if he starts using Force stuff, which I know he's not that skilled with outside of like pulling stuff here and there, you've got Grogu there to kind of balance that. Or since there's now another Force user in the Republic, not so much Luke, but Ezra, they could both be going there to handle the pirates and to handle Jod.
If I see Neil holding Grogu, I will cease to exist.
The world will.
Yeah.
Star Wars Twitter will evaporate.
Yeah, it's too much.
Neil holds
That's
Grogu.
too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Matthew says there's a 77.2% chance of that. I think
I like those odds.
And I'm only willing to accept that if they're escorted in an X-wing by Carson Teva. Like,
yes,
that's all I need.
There's been a shocking lack of that dude, but we don't know where in the New Republic era this is, do we? Like, there's no.
Well, I think
it's no set time.
The assumption is that it's the same time as the Mandalorian, right?
Yeah. All right, because of the one pirate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so and it would make sense. What you're saying makes sense because Carson Teva did sort of negotiate with Mando at the end of season 3. Hey, we may call you for a little help, and if they are going to perhaps bring some of this crew into the movie that
freestyle policing, as it were.
Yeah, they could start to plant some of those seeds. That'd be very interesting.
I mean, there's been X-wings that have been tracking them down this entire time. Who's to say? Right. That Zeb isn't one of those pilots.
Oh man,
you bring Zeb.
There we go.
Just Star Wars it up on that last episode. Do it.
That's right.
Did
push
Kim,
all the tips into the middle of the table?
Did Kim put some sort of tracker on the Onyx Cinder? I mean, because she found them at La Puna or whatever it is, or Lanupa. That was it.
Lanupa. Or maybe KB.
Yeah, KB and Kim are man,
pen pals. Yeah.
I like this. Matthew, now you're just playing with Chris.
Come on now, stop that. That would be amazing. I'll take that too.
Lando shows up and kicks off the Lando.
Ahsoka falls out of a wormhole, boom, right into the whole thing. Let it happen.
Yeah,
let it happen.
Man,
it's like like an Avengers type thing. Yeah, I'll take it.
This is what happens when we take phone calls on. But I do like that. I think it would be very cool. It would be a unique way to do it. So, any final thoughts? Go ahead, Choco.
Oh, you did just make me think of one thing, though, because I can definitely see, especially if these are connected, I can see a world in which that technology that's being used to hide the planet to create an artificial gas giant that's hollow surrounding it. Beautiful scene, by the way.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see Thrawn finding out about that technology and using it to his advantage. And in one of the books, what was it? Was a Visions of no, sorry. In the Thrawn trilogy, he has a whole bunch of Star Destroyers that are waiting inside of like an invisible field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we just set up that technology to do that, just going to start a conflict next to a gas giant, and all of a sudden a bunch of Star Destroyers are just going to fly out of it.
Well, I can almost in my head hear Thrawn saying, like, I don't need the credits. I just need the technology. And like, that's like all because he wouldn't care about that, right? He just would want, oh man. Yeah. There are definitely, hey, Fanboy Cantina, thanks for stopping in. I can definitely see. So, but that to me is the biggest challenge with this show. And we'll wrap up here. The biggest challenge with the show is if there's a planet that literally has, almost 1,139 vaults full of credits, that screws up the entire galaxy. So something has to happen where either A, this planet is destroyed, or B, it is again forgotten about, because or C, and this is the somehow Palpatine returned. Palpatine gets his hands on this and uses it to make the First Order, right?
That's the one.
Yeah,
bankrolling it.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yep. So, well, that is it for this week here on ATG Live and Beyond the Barrier. Choco, thank you so much for joining us. Chris, it was great to see you back on the screen with us.
You too,
and of course, Eric, and all of you who hung out with us in the chat and hung out with us on Twitter. Guys, if you're on Twitter, most of the time we can't see what you have to say, so please come on over to YouTube and like, subscribe, share, blah blah blah. We are now we're a monetized channel. I don't know how that happened. We're big boys now. We're influencers. Pretty soon we'll be grifters.
We finally got that email too. I've been on the fence with doing it, but yeah, we finally got that email too.
I'm planning an entire series on how Kathleen Kennedy is killing Star Wars. That should be going up in just a couple days. Got to make that grifter money. So make sure to please like, subscribe, share, rate, review, share it with all your friends and family. We know that a lot of you like when we do these kind of review shows, so tell somebody about it. Make sure to follow our good friend Darth Choco on all of the social medias if you like the deep lore, the opinions. You have, Choco, I have to say, you have hot takes that are not like so outrageous. They're based in fact, and there's something about the way you present that you could get up there and be like, listen, I think Palpatine was right. Then we'd be like, yeah,
he's
what?
Right. He's on
makes
something
sense.
Here.
I think he's right. So make sure to follow Choco for some of the best content out there. And of course, go to Bro Axiom Outpost. If you're going to buy a Black Series figure, a Funko Pop, He-Man, whatever you're buying, comics.
Why are you going to the big guys? Right. They don't need your money.
No. Do you realize if you were to buy 5 Black Series figures from Target, that covers, that's nothing for them. 5 Black Series figures for Bro Axiom Outpost, that's a good day. That's a good day for these guys. So go check them out. Help out our friend Chris. As I said before, and I'm going to make the shirt for you, Chris. You're going to buy this shit anyway. Go do it from Chris.
I will wear it every day.
We have 51 people watching on Twitter right now. If you're going to buy something, Go to broaxiumoutpost.com right now.
Use the promo code ATG10 for 10% off.
10. We just raised it. It's like Podathon. We just hit the 10%. ATG10. Go out there and buy some stuff and get 10% off. Yeah. Target's not going to give you 10% off, and they're going to ship it like garbage.
Pete,
so
just for your cosplay needs, I still got that Balin Skull Force Effect Saber coming in. Just saying. It's up there for pre-order with a whole bunch of other stuff.
You know you got my money. You know I'm coming to you. So. Actually, I'm serious. On a side note, Chris, in February, our friends at Screen Crush are doing a show live in Philly.
Yeah.
I'm going to come down, and maybe you and I can go and head over to that together. So it's a whole other story.
What day is that happening?
I'm not sure. I don't even know what today is. So we'll figure it out.
I just know it's Thursday.
Is it a Thursday? Oh no, today's Thursday.
Right.
It's ATG Live. It's Thursday. Well, with that, Nick, I'm sorry, this has fallen completely out of my control. Nick, may the force be with you.
Always.
This is Ashley Iaconetti from the Ben and Ashley I Almost Famous podcast. Did you know that Future Health can help make weight loss resolutions come true? Future Health makes access to qualified doctors that know GLP-1s easier than ever and for less than $3 a day. Get started with a quick 3-minute survey at tryfh.com. Tryfh.com.
Tryfh.com.
Future Health is not a healthcare services provider. Meds are prescribed at provider's discretion. Results may vary. Sponsored by Future Health.
The new year's here. It's the perfect time to refresh those household essentials and score some cashback rewards with Colgate-Palmolive. From toothpaste to dish soap, chances are you've got Colgate-Palmolive products on your shopping list and in your house right now. We're talking brands like Colgate, Soft Soap, Palmolive, Irish Spring, Fabuloso, and Tom's of Maine. And right now, you can get up to a $10 digital Visa prepaid card when you buy up to $30 of Colgate-Palmolive products. Here's how it works. Spend $20 on their products, get $5. Spend $30, get a $10 reward. All you do is shop your favorite brands, snap a pic of your receipt, and upload it to cprewards.com. It's so easy. That's cprewards.com. So grab what you need, or maybe try something new, and get rewarded just for doing your usual shopping. And start your year fresh by earning cashback rewards with Colgate-Palmolive. Rewards available while supplies last. Limits apply. U.S. only. 1/1/25 through 3/31/25. For full terms and conditions, visit cprewards.com.